Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode number 87 for the week of December 10th, 2012. My name is Ryan Higgins, who is here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Omar.
Larsen Bryce.
Wait, Bryce, something's wrong with your mic.
Is it not on? Oh, it's not on.
Oh, let's try that again.
The glory hole is not working.
Bryce is talking into a short box, so let's try this again.
He is a short box.
That's a euphemism for a penis.
There we go.
Larsen Bryce.
Excellent.
Toby.
And Charlie.
We'll have pictures of Bryce's makeshift mic stand on the thread at forums@geekbox.net later tonight. So.
If you'd like to donate so we can get a new mic stand, please go to the Geekbox and click donate.
His donation,
Or
put money on there.
Conspiracy.biz.
No, I don't pay for that shit. It's all Ryan Scott, man. He pays for it all. It's all his equipment.
Or go to Comics in a Kind and just put a shitload of money in that
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
I need a donate button on mine.
Occasionally, Omar will spend it for something other than beer. You know, it's all good.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Elf costumes.
Jeez, I saw some of that.
You saw
You
some
were
of it?
up so you were up in San Francisco for like an elf.
It's an elf party.
It's not the Santa thing, right? This is
No.
something different.
No, the
Something
Santa thing
different.
is going to be there this weekend.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I want
dude,
to go to that.
the elf
Santa,
party.
the Santa Con,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I've never wanted to go because I just heard it's a shit show, but I'm glad I did. I was sober and I saw 5 elves getting in fights, and it's just like it just doesn't get old when you see these fucking grown men and women like that are trying to relive their college life being dressed up as fucking ridiculous elves fighting. It's just fucking incredible.
That's awesome.
San Francisco nightlife. Gotta love it. There is only a few things to talk about this week, but they are very big topics, so let's get to it. We're going to have a few questions, but then we got to get into the big news of the week.
You're not concerned?
Concerned.
This is like our last podcast ever.
What?
Because apparently the world ends in 2 days.
The 21st,
2
right?
days. You're like
Not
2
days.
weeks.
Yeah, bro.
Is it
12
2
days.
weeks?
Rock, you
11
read
days.
comics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it goes beyond to death.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
12, 21, 12.
21? I thought it was 12,
That was
12, 12.
No, 12, 21, 12.
12.
It's whatever. It's fine. I'll be here. Someone's going to sell the comic books. All right. Moore's D on Twitter asks, when are you guys going to do your next independent show? Like all independents? Are we going to do that soon?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we've talked about that for a little while. So soon is the answer to that. That's a very easy one. The Serial Kills asks, have you read Fear Agent? Should I pick up the omnibus? I read the first few issues a long, long time ago. Rick Remender, right?
Yeah, remember? Yeah.
Now
that's when
on-
he was,
Amazing.
that's back when he was like super cool, right?
That was like his super indie work, his early indie work stuff. Cool kind of space sci-fi, but I didn't follow through too far into it, so.
I haven't read any of it yet, but those hardcovers are something I've been wanting to talk to you about.
I don't like that they are starting straight into like a $50 hardcover or
Yeah,
something
but
like
it's
that.
3 trades worth in each, and there's only 2 of them.
But no talking. But the trades are out of print, which is dumb. So the only way you can get them are these big fat hardcovers.
Just the way I like them.
Wow, but that's going to sell nothing to casual people. Okay, apparently Toby, Bryce, and Omar are having Avengers discussion.
Omar's
here,
not
so,
in that. Don't lump
so
him
we'll-
into that
yeah,
category.
We're very excited to have a hard on.
Okay. We'll talk Avengers in a few.
Jerome Pena does that to you.
We'll talk Avengers. Let's get through some of this other stuff. No,
Any
you
event,
guys can
I
talk
endorse that hardcover.
Okay.
You endorse any hardcover that looks nice.
I thought you were
It's
going to
a
say you're going
library
to endorse
edition.
something
You're
else.
a hard covering whore. That's what you are.
There's a fucking library edition. It's not.
Whoa.
I love library edition.
The big man is bringing out
You're
the
a
F word. Watch out.
You're a HCW. HCW. You're a fucking hardcover whore.
That
Like
he is.
kind of like
WCW?
WCW. Yeah, I didn't even pick that up.
WCW.
White Chris
White Chris
Webber.
Webber. David Lee.
No more beer at the table, guys.
Go away.
I haven't even started drinking the beer yet.
Okay,
I actually
good.
have something to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
What's
what's
up?
going on? Did you get picked on in high school a lot by jocks?
No?
So why do you like this basketball?
What?
Like why is it not cool for me to go to a basketball game and like comics? Why do I have to be like just a nerd? Whenever I go to a basketball game, you're like trash talk to b-ball.
It's funny though.
mocks
It's kind of funny.
Any kind of sport that
Yeah.
comes up.
That's
He mocks
what I
the
mean. I was
Super
like,
Bowl.
I
he
played
mocks-
basketball. I played basketball when I was
Well,
younger.
but here's my thing though. You keep dissing sports though. Every time you have a chance, you diss it. Of
But
course.
he does it equally.
It's
It
like a
doesn't
nerd.
matter
It's like
the
a
sport.
nerd high five.
But
around
then
the
you
world.
wonder why they diss you in return too.
Yeah, the only cool sport is cricket. That's because that's what I said. Omar almost fucking
Don't spit on me. Don't fucking spit on me.
I did almost spit on you.
No, shit. In like anything, it is mostly an act. I have no problem with sports. In fact, I watch a little bit, and I participated in a lot of sports when I was younger. And I've gone to various sporting events, and I generally have no problem with sports.
This is what you do. Next time you come in, just get a ball, throw it at his head, and see how he reacts.
Dude, I'm going to catch that shit. I'm going to dribble. I'm going to go right past you.
You should. It's funny you should mention that. I play quite a bit, and last Friday I played, and this guy that doesn't play a lot was the guy I was guarding, and then I was guarding him. He went up for a layup, and he freaking smashed the ball in my face. Like, he really missed the freaking rim. I mean, just full on, just like slammed the freaking ball in my face.
Nothing but net.
Yeah, well, it was like, yeah, exactly, like all face.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like he teabagged you or something.
God, it's pretty similar.
He was a hairy guy, and they were skins.
Nothing but face.
His ball was in my face. I was very concerned.
All right, well, talking about balls and faces, we got a great question here. This is the holiday season, and we got elves and all that stuff going on. Jim Barr on Twitter asks, do you guys have a comic or trade that you give to non-comic readers as gifts for the holidays to try to get new readers?
Walking Dead.
And I think that's a pretty it's a little generic of a question, only because a lot of the things that I would give for Christmas gifts would also be the same thing I would give to kind of
but The
readers.
Walking Dead is a good one because a lot of people are into it because of the TV show, and it's
Well,
like
right now,
nice little going. Since you like the TV show, maybe you want to read the comic.
Yeah,
and once I
absolutely.
read the comic, it's like, haha, I got you.
But that's also in some ways the easy answer because it really just has to do with the fact that there's a comic for every kind of genre. If you know the kind of genre they like, you can find a good comic to give them.
Well, it's. I mean, I've given Day Tripper as presents numerous times to get kind of people that weren't necessarily going to be geared towards superheroes. But then it's like with superheroes, I always try and do things that I know people will be interested in, that stuff they can pick up. So like Jeff Johns' Green Lantern, I've given that as well. So it just depends on the person that you're giving it to.
Yeah, well, I've always liked Long Halloween, the Batman Long Halloween story, just because, again, you dealing with the holidays, dealing with various, it just seems to work. It's a nice year-long story. So Watchmen's always a good one. I had a request today for Saga as a gift for someone, which that's going to be a big seller this year because that's
I bet
the big new popular indie book. So Brian K. Vaughan selling for Saga trade that'll do good this year too.
I love Watchmen, but I think it's a little for getting into comics. Did you say? I think it's a kind of intense, an intense jumping in point.
It's one people know. I think that's
it. Well, you can give it to people. If people who like reading at least novels, you can give it to those types of people because there's so much in there and it's so rich in its content.
That's true.
But as I said, a lot of it sort of depends on the person you're dealing with. I mean, if there's lots of good detective comics out there. I mean, you have Criminal, you have Stumptown, you have a lot of good stuff there. And then if you know somebody who's a little more light, likes a little comedy mixed in there, I mean, you still have stuff like Chew out there. And
dude, right there. That's exactly what I was going to say. Especially in the area that we're in, like all the foodies and everything. Like Chew is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It's like food nerds.
Foodies.
Oh, okay.
There's a comic for everybody. You just send us a genre and we can give you a suggestion.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we had a guy come in today and he's like, "What's new?"
Yeah, that's the hardest question. He's like, what's a good writer or artist? I'm like, well, that's so subjective, and how do you answer that? Like, once he was talking to Brock, he's like, oh, I like dark stuff. Okay, that at least gives us some point of reference so we can go off, but yeah, it's a real hard question.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point is with people that are, say, coming into comic books, ask them what type of series are they watching, what type of books are they reading.
Well, we've done that too. I mean, it's always what movies do you like, what TV shows do you like, what books do you like, and if you spot a trend there, you can usually grab people. There's enough, if they're watching Breaking Bad and Mad Men, there's a lot of kind of crime drama and more, if they're watching, nothing big blockbusters and that. There's, again, easy things to point them to. So, all right, got one here from Ocularis, who asks, Don. He asks, Aquaman is one of my favorite characters. What pre-New 52 should I read that highlights the best superhero of all time next to Batman? So that's big praise for Aquaman. Bryce is rolling his eyes back there.
I thought you said Aquaman. I didn't know you said Avengers or X-Men.
Aquaman has suffered from mediocre series probably his entire life, despite being a pretty badass character. Come on. Aquaman. Bryce, there's Aquaman that swims with fishes with Aqualad, and then there's Aquaman, King of the fucking Seas, that's a badass. So there's Aquaman's one of those characters that always have great potential. And
long
they just
hair, short hair, beard, no beard.
Water hand,
no hand.
But that stuff was pretty cool. The early Peter David stuff was pretty cool. Kurt Busiek's run on Aquaman, as short-lived as it was really good. Aquaman in Grant Morrison's JLA was really good. Plus, even past that, when they the Justice League Elite stuff, wasn't he in that? Yeah, Aquaman was in that. That's when when he had like his water hand stuff.
I don't remember if he was in the Justice League Elite books. For some reason, I only really remember Green Arrow there.
But he's in that time period of JLA.
Oh, yeah, he's in that time period. And I remember he was leading the team when it sort of pseudo-disbanded there for a little while, and that stuff was pretty good. No, I don't know. I've enjoyed Aquaman mainly from the JLA books versus his solo series.
Well, that's when he's been better. So.
Yeah. No, we do have a run of that stuff if you're interested in picking it up.
I just had an idea. For the creators, like the DC creators that listen to our podcast, if, say, Jeff Johns just leaves, Aquaman, and, there's a shitty run like usual per Charlie, we talked about this earlier, a great idea, I think, is you need to do Aquaman and the Wonder Twins.
What?
I think that would be a very good series. I think people would jump on it. That'll be like the DC's version of, like, Deadpool.
Okay. Well, we'll leave that there.
I would love to like Aquaman. I would love to love him, but you said yourself, there's no like story that everybody goes to like, oh, that story arc on
Blackest
Aquaman.
Night. I mean, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter. That was like what it was like. They brought him forward.
Yeah, I mean, Brightest Day, all that stuff was very engaging. Yeah. But I mean, there's a reason why Aquaman sales are being phenomenal since Jeff Johns is taking over.
Yeah.
So
very different.
His best story, to answer the reader's question, is going to be when Jeff Johns finishes. That'll be his best story.
Just his whole run. John's whole run. Yeah.
War of Atlantis or something.
CrossX Hunter on Twitter asks, what can kill the momentum of a book more? A change in artist or a change in writer? We'll actually be talking about this in a little more detail later, but to start off, my answer is either. If they're really horrible in either direction, that can kill it. Mm-hmm. However, a more permanent change, I will say the writer over artist. And I think, as much as I like to think people want to say that the artists are 50-50 with the story, I'm talking mainstream superhero books here, monthly books. That don't get me started on independent stuff or small press stuff or creator-owned stuff. But when it comes to just the monthly books, the writer is always such a big push of the book that if the story gets bad, the sales will drop off. If the art's mediocre, well, they're just going to replace the artist in 3 issues anyway, because that's just the way comic books work these days.
I think it's more jarring when an artist, like, the art's bad. Like it hits you a lot faster with the writer. It might take, like you said, a few issues where you're kind of like but like with a.
But I think a permanent drift down will be with an ongoing bad writer versus an ongoing bad artist. Because very few artists stay on books for long enough to make any sort of impact.
Yeah. Answer, Star Wars prequel.
Yeah.
It's like the worst fucking script ever, and you have fucking incredible cinematography and art direction.
Jim Lee can't save All-Star Batman and Robin.
So sorry.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Sorry, Toby.
Fuck you all.
It's a really bad book. It's
nice break
really
from the Avengers book, bro. I'm so glad you spent some time with it.
Spend time with it.
God, let's see. I got like one more here before we go on to our big stories. This is from Bobby Incognito, who asks, I've been called a comic book hipster. Okay. Give me one Cape comic that rivals the best of Vertigo. No Identity Crisis.
Good question.
So what's the best of Vertigo?
I don't know. I think that's
subjective too. Well, what you like. I mean, you probably would say Sandman. I would probably say like.
Well, Sandman's Vertigo.
Oh wait, what was the question?
That's what he means. Like, no, that's what he said. Name a superhero book that's as good as anything Vertigo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't hear
But
the full.
But the problem is, Sandman is a superhero book, and I hate to break that to people. And Hellblazer is a superhero book, and
Plus, wasn't the JLA in the first issue?
And Swamp Thing is a superhero book, and Animal Man is a superhero book, and Doom Patrol, our superhero, is a superhero book.
Doctor Strange isn't a superhero book.
You know what I mean? These are superheroes. They just have, they just kind of got shuffled off into their own little side stories. But now, if you're saying your favorite's Transmeter Preacher, okay, that's a little different story. Yeah. But I mean, those two, Sandman, those are going to be the big books. I think it's a little unfair, only because most superhero books are ongoing, and those are specifically aimed to be kind of short runs. So, unless you're talking something like Kingdom Come, Long Halloween, Marvel's
Ex Machina.
Sure. Well, but that is a superhero book, right? But it's not. It's done in the Vertigo style. Yeah, but no,
it's actually being pulled into Vertigo now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I know. You know what? I actually noticed that earlier today. That all our recent printings of ABC and Wildstorm trades now all have the Vertigo label on them.
Really?
Yeah. So like, I got a Ex Machina and a Promethea trade that have a Vertigo label on it now.
Huh. Oh, what a trip!
Weird.
So
that's weird.
Yeah,
those questions. So those questions of, is Vertigo going away now that Karen Berger's gone? The answer is obviously not, because it's now the home for everything that's not DC Universe. So there you go.
Except before Watchmen.
Yeah, but that's always been DC Universe. So, but Watchmen is at a Cape of books, not Vertigo. So I'd say Watchmen, for most people would tie that.
I almost think it should be a Vertigo book.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, we already have GSA, right?
Yeah, it fits into that subcategory of what Vertigo is doing. So
I don't know. For me, to answer the actual question, if you look at specific runs within, like, Jeff Johns' Green Lantern is not the same as the Green Lantern before Jeff Johns. It won't be the same Green Lantern when Jeff Johns leaves the title. Hopefully, never. But the only way I can answer that is if you want to get into specific questions of particular runs, I'd say any run that Jeff Johns has done, I would hold up to the quality of various Vertigo books and such.
And for current stuff, I would say, New Animal Man and Swamp Thing is as good as the large majority of their Vertigo counterparts. Now, comparing it to Alan Moore or Ann Morrison's run is difficult, but I think they're as good. Different, but I enjoy them as much as I enjoy those other ones.
The other one that sort of keeps springing to mind on this question is Seven Soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah,
we were talking with Bryce before we recorded about Iron Fist, the Immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah,
and that's
just a new school classic.
That's probably as close as Marvel's done to Vertigoing their own superhero stuff. It doesn't happen very often. Ecstatics, a very Doom Patrol kind of weird out there take on X-Men characters. There's lots of versions like that where if the creators are given the ability to do something kind of self-contained, they can.
X Factor too. Peter David's just slow and steady.
Yeah.
Peter David, what's up, buddy? You're fucking hilarious. Love you, buddy.
All right.
I think you need another drink.
Okay.
So the big news of the week. So we're going to talk Avengers #1 here in a little bit, but I think we get this out of the way because this may go for a while. The big news of the week is that over the weekend on Sunday, Gail Simone, a very popular creator at DC, longtime writer for both Marvel and DC, and Bongo Comics, a few others, current writer on Batgirl, former writer on Firestorm, had announced after Bleeding Cool broke the news that she was officially leaving Batgirl, is that she is officially leaving Batgirl. So Gail Simone That's
not quite as she put it.
Yeah. She is being pushed off Batgirl. She was fired off Batgirl in an email, which, according to creators who replied, that is not a common tactic. So she was let go of Batgirl by new Batgirl editor Brian Cunningham. There's been a lot of talk in the last few weeks about DC kind of switching up a lot of their editorial staff and moving the books around, which is unfortunate but common when there's big editorial shifts. Creators are let go. Plans that were in place are now replaced with the plans of the new editors. Brock, I don't want to poke fun at you too much here, but sorry, you're writing corporate superheroes for a corporation, and you have zero to little control over what you do on these books, unless your name's Jeff Johns, and then even then, you probably don't.
That's why Gail wrote that nice little goodbye thing.
Yeah.
She was very, very professional about it.
Yeah, I think it sucks when you lose your job. I think she will get more work from DC, hopefully, and I think she'll get more work from other companies. She has a Kickstarter that she's doing.
Well, Phil Noto is already pushing for her to join Marvel, and that she's running for with Marjorie Liu and stuff like that. That'd be dope.
Can I just say one thing really quick? Let's just be honest. For those of us that are on the social media side, this has been something that has been in the works for the last 6 months. Gail Simone has been talking nothing but Marvel characters and Marvel creators.
Yeah,
I mean, let's just look at it. Look at the history. Just jump on her page and then scroll through her shit.
Well, let's
not just. I mean, she does show love for Marvel creators, but she also has shown a lot of love for various DC creators too. I mean, the nice thing about Gail Simone, like for me, is there's a lot of people that I've always really loved and respected, like Jeff Johns and that kind of stuff. That to a degree.
I've said Jeff Johns like 900 times in this episode already.
I'm going to keep going.
Just make sure.
999. I'm going for it.
We know where we know where your hard on is at, Brian.
For me, the thing is even Jeff Johns. There's been a couple of panels I've been to or something where you always get that sort of like company line where like they don't want to acknowledge what the other company is doing well. And every time I get that at any con, I've always rolled my eyes, and I've even gotten it from Jeff Johns at some panels I've been to, which I'm like, why'd you have to go there? Because I don't generally like that, and I've always kind of liked the fact that she's one of those creators, and I've seen various creators nowadays in social media be able to do this, be able to compliment what so-and-so's doing on a particular title.
Yeah, well,
I like creators being able to be honest with each other that way.
Well, let's backtrack here just a little bit. So, for those who don't know, Gail Simone, besides all the things we mentioned previously, she is very popular online, especially with the female comic book reading community.
Female bloggers.
It's no uh-oh.
I'm still a guy. I just checked.
Yeah, nice. But no, she has been often, maybe unfairly, and she's admitted this, as kind of being held up as like the token female comic creator, right? I mean, she is always the one. Women in comics turn to Gail Simone because she was kind of always the one that was able to permanently break through to Marvel and DC, whereas others have had, not so great success in the past.
I think Ms. Liu is doing it over at Marvel though right now. I think she's getting her people.
But let's be honest. She doesn't hold the same gravitas as Simone does in the panel. I mean, Simone could hold her own with Morrison and like Snyder when he started being.
Gail is pretty dope.
Marjorie, no, I agree. She's fucking incredible. She's wonderful to look at and stare at, like Nicola Scott.
Stop before it gets creepy.
It's already creepy, bro.
I was trying to save you.
From the writing side, Gail Simone is the most popular female creator at Marvel and DC, like bar none. Right? I mean, it's not even a competition. The others combined don't even come close. So she's had a very kind of special place in comics, and especially at DC, particularly with Karen Berger leaving last week, and now Gail Simone being basically fired off, the highest profile female creator comic book currently on the market. That's not looking so hot for DC. I mean, let's be honest. So this, of course, elicited a huge explosion of outcry in the online community this weekend.
Hate mail, right? Hate mail?
Tons of hate mail to DC, which Gail Simone very quickly backtracked and was like, no, don't. Or she didn't backtrack. She came out and said, don't do that. This is my job. I don't want them to think my fans are crazy people who, we just won't give her work if this is the sort of reaction we're going to get every time we fire her off a title. Because, hey, guess what? You work for a company, you're going to get fired at some point. Big surprise. So it's interesting to see.
I've been fired by Ryan quite a few times. I just want to put it out there.
He threatens me every day.
All Toby's fans write in all the time, and they're like, don't you fire them? So I'm just, it's interesting to see fan reaction and internet reaction versus what will actually happen sales-wise. And we were talking at this before the podcast a bit.
Brubaker said it before. I mean, people speak with their wallets, so it's like, I mean, are we really going to see that much of an impact?
No,
in sales,
yeah, a little bit, but no.
Yeah, no.
And my firm belief is any impact we're going to see in sales would have happened anyway. Comics trend downward outside of big crossovers is just the way it always happens. So, does this suck? The Gail's fired off Batgirl? Yeah, absolutely. I really like the book. She's a really good creator, and I really like her. Is she going to get another job at DC? Yeah, probably. Is she going to work at another company? Yeah, probably. Her contract's up, so she can go work wherever she wants now. And yeah, I think, this is a big deal, but I think 6 months from now it'll be like, yeah, okay, she's on some new book, and we're done with this. So
not really. I feel Barbara is very connected to her. Yep. I mean, as a Barbara fan, whenever she wrote Barbara, I was like, this is Barbara. This is dope. This is fantastic. So I'm really, really bummed. I have to say I'm really bummed off of this because when it came back, you guys all remember I was very torn because I really liked the Barbara in the wheelchair. But the fact that the way Gail wrote Barbara, I'm like, this is still Barbara. I mean, even with all the changes, this is totally still Barbara. Nothing has changed with the character, and that she's being taken off, something she probably didn't even want to leave, I'm very unhappy about.
Well, I definitely mirror the sentiment of being unhappy about it just because I love the book and I attribute a lot of that to Gail.
And Omar, you're a big Secret Six fan.
To me,
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest problem with a lot of comic books and changes like this is you won't even know exactly how well the next writer is going to do or not do till the issues start coming out. And most people who walk into the shop will not even notice that it's not Gail Simone at first. It's all going to come down to, as Ryan said, the writing of the actual book. Does the new writer capture the voice well enough to keep people, or will people go, this isn't the same book I've been buying, and immediately start jumping ship after a couple issues?
The temporary writer, his name is Ray Fox. Whether he is the ongoing writer, that's kind of a rumor that they believe he is the ongoing writer, but it's not been announced yet. Yeah. He did some indie books. He did a book for Oni called One Soul. It's supposed to be pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. But exactly, I think, and no slight to Gail. I mean, she's an incredible talent, but the fact is a lot of people just don't know or don't care who's writing the books. I mean, some people do. Well, and some people will clearly drop off. But some people will be like... I
feel like, Charlie brought this up in the past too. There are just certain creative teams that are meant for certain books. And Gail is one of those that's meant for Birds of Prey, meant for Barbara. But, I mean, all good things come to an end eventually anyways. I mean, there's going to be a day where Gail probably goes, I'm done with my stories.
Yeah.
I'm moving on, right? So...
Yeah, and she wrote Barbara for like 6-7 years now.
Good long time, yeah.
So...
Yeah. Hey, at least we can all be happy at the knowledge that Rob Liefeld's not picking it up.
I would have been really pissed off.
Well, this was actually...
I would have been causing a wreck because I'd be burning down the store and blaming on that.
Well, this is actually a question one of the guys on Twitter asked. I'm trying to find him. Hold on, where is it? It's here somewhere. Well, go ahead, Charlie. I'll find it.
I was just going to say, the only thing that really, really gets under my skin about the way this was handled and everything is they're not even really letting her finish up the stuff she had in place. As you said, people do get let go from books. They do have creator changes. That does happen. But it definitely, for me, hurts a run when the person who was building that run... if she had left the book and they made it sound like they were going to keep her outline from where it's going, even though she wants to go move on to other projects now that she's out of contract, I wouldn't be as blah about this. But the fact that, so it's the Death of the Family crossover is still going on, and is it going to be, I know she's going to be ending up writing most of it, but doesn't it extend, or the epilogue extend to like one issue after?
I think it's like the epilogue, yeah, she's not writing it or something.
Yeah, so it's sort of like I don't really feel like Gail Simone's going to have a chance to put down a finale to her run on it. It's just going to abruptly change, and that admittedly does bother me because most of the best runs in comic books have some sort of sense of finale leading into the new creative team, and that's just going to hurt the book.
Different angle. If you guys are huge, just fans of Barbara Gordon and huge fans of like when Chuck Dixon passed the mantle to Gail Simone in Birds of Prey back in the 90s. Jump on Dwayne Sarazinski's shit on Birds of Prey right now.
He's off.
He's off.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I love it when we break news to Omar.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
How long was this?
I think he's got like 1 or 2 issues left. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry.
But this gives a good point, though. I mean, for all the people that are really mad, I mean, it's sad that Gail is going, but, I love Chuck Dixon's run. Yeah. And then Gail came along, and I loved that run. So, like I said, who knows? Maybe the next writer will just have something good. But it's really sad that
who's
she's
this
gone,
Scott Snyder guy taking over Batman and Swamp
exactly.
Thing? Oh, okay. Right. I mean, yeah. It was actually Danny on Twitter. He asks, Judd Winnick, Paul Cornell, Rob Liefeld, and now Gail Simone all either publicly or very quietly leaving DC. And, rumors of other creators, Grant Morrison.
Marvel is smart. Pick them up.
Marvel did grab Paul Cornell for the new Wolverine title. Judd Winnick's going off.
X-23 needs some love.
Yeah, Judd Winnick's going off and doing his own thing. Rob Liefeld's going back to do some Image stuff.
He's on. He's back on Youngblood.
Yeah, he's doing whatever. But it'll be interesting to see, now DC, are these people leaving because of massive editorial, interference, which is what it sounds like it is, which it sucks when creators aren't left to do what they want to do. However, they have to report to their boss, and their boss has to report to their boss.
This is an Image or Vertigo, or
yeah. So it's kind of like
it's what Charlie was saying before. Gail's been writing Batgirl, and Batgirl is in the Bat universe, which means it
sells well. So it's not like it bombed.
But it's like we have Corda and Night of Owls. Okay, so she has to go off and do her thing for an issue or two,
and she did. And then with Death in the Family, this is a little more involved, so she has to go and do what she has to do with that. But now it's like she seemed completely on board, especially with everything she had been.
Yeah, she's been working with Snyder and been praising Snyder. How he's been working with her. Yeah.
But with what you were saying, it would have been nice to kind of have her out of Death in the Family, kind of give us her last kind of, this is my last story with Barbara, and then we go out, where this is more of an abrupt finishing. And I think that's why, a lot of people were up in arms, is because they've really enjoyed what was going on, in Batgirl, and especially with how she's tying into the rest of the Bat universe.
Yeah, I mean, me and Charlie talk about this with like TV shows all the time. When TV shows is upperly axed, we're like, man, we really wish they would have known, so they could wrap it up some sort of fashion that they could finish it off.
Even when they know, sometimes they just do it horribly.
Yeah, but at least they
had a chance at it.
Yeah, I mean, some are more successful than others, obviously.
My name was Earl.
Yeah,
that one was.
Now, on a side note, just because Ryan brought up the Birds of Prey, I am happy that they're putting Zub Zub on as writer of it, so that will be interesting.
Who's that?
Skull Kickers.
Oh,
yeah.
More Image guys are getting poached by DC to replace the talent that have left.
Yeah, DC
and the talent that's leaving is going over to do their own stuff at Image. Very interesting. Some flip-flopping.
Image is almost the entire DC's just taking what Image said, years ago, and they're like, oh, sure, we'll just have all our creators poached by Marvel and DC. Well, it's like DC's doing it quite literally now with John Layman on. John Layman's been around for a long time, but he hit it big and kind of came back as a big creator through Chew. Now on Detective, you got from Skull Kickers taking over Birds of Prey.
Oh, what he's doing with Ogilvy, fucking amazing. I just gotta say, it's like on that level.
Emperor Penguin.
Oh,
yeah.
So they'd be curious to see, one, who else leaves, and two,
if Marvel actually can snag any of these.
Who new comes in? Well, but they do. They Marvel does all the time.
Legit don't know.
I don't know either.
Are they any more sneaky?
Marvel gets.
Well, I mean, we were talking about Fear Agent just a little while ago.
Yeah, well, they stole Remender and made him probably like their number one or number two guy. Hell, they gave him Uncanny Avengers. That's your number one guy right there.
And where did Hickman come from before he went on to do that amazing book, The Secret Warriors?
Avengers. Image.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
So
everything under his own like pseudo label, Max Pronia. So he did like what did you? My favorite book of all time that I can't even think of. The news one.
Nightly News. Nightly News, Pax Romana.
Whoa. Oh, now I'm all a mess. Secret Warriors was so great. And
Was
then
it awesome?
apparently, I loved it.
His
but,
Shield book too. Did you read that too?
Started to. We're not going to talk about his Shield book.
Fine.
And then I hear from Ryan on last week's podcast that the Fantastic Four run was fucking epic.
Brilliant.
And
brilliant.
we'll probably get to it later or imminently, but fucking Avengers #1, legit.
Pax Romana.
Yeah, Pax Romana is the other one. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I definitely think it sucks that this is... I mean, I hate when this shit becomes so public, too, because you can't...
Yeah, she shouldn't have fucking...
Well...
She had to control her destiny. You can't hide the shit in this age.
No, but even, like, letting it out like she did... I mean, I love her.
Well,
but, like,
part of
the way
it,
that
too...
She, like, let it out like, I was treated poorly.
And she didn't. No,
No.
this was, and I gotta, as much as...
was it Eric Larson or whoever it was... Who then?
I read that, yeah.
As much as
he retweeted it, and it was retweeted like
and everybody's
300 times.
retweeting it, and then it's like all these people fucking saying,
you know
bullshit.
what, guys? You know what it boils down to? It's that she was fired on a Sunday and not a Friday. Come on, in business, it's always on Friday.
She was let go on Wednesday.
Yeah. As much like last week, as much as I like Bleeding Cool, Richard Johnson over there definitely has been poking and prodding at this Gail Simone women in comics war thing for such a long time.
Hey, it gets page hits, man.
It does, and that's kind of, it's sad that someone's livelihood comes down to being such a major topic of conversation and is such a big moneymaker for them. But this was definitely brought on by just months and months of issue leaving, issue going, oh my god, I heard rumors. And so it kind of like, you kind of have to publicly talk about it because...
It's kind of like Pau Gasol, right? It's like
Especially
Pau Gasol. It's not
because-
is he going to work with Nash? Is that going to happen? We're going to wait for him to get back in the court for the Lakers?
I'm just saying they pooped their big boy pants, man. That's all I'm going to say.
They pooped in their big boy pants.
Yeah.
No.
What is this talk?
I think the upside and downside to Twitter a lot of this times is, so Bleeding Cool, of course, reported all these books that are supposed to be under some sort of creative change. And I don't know exactly when they reported it, but if I recall, it was before she was let know by email that they were switching creators on Batgirl. So Bleeding Cool is already reporting. So what did she do as soon as that news hit? She's like, no, I'm not leaving Batgirl.
But then Rich always fucking jumps on and throws a date out there and see, this is the truth that the story was broke by me and not Comics Beat.
Yeah.
Rich,
And-
you're fucking awesome, but quit doing that shit. It's old. It's really old,
But
son.
It was first reported here at bleedingcool.com.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just one of those things of, after adamantly telling people on Twitter that she wasn't leaving the title, she kind of had to explain, well, I am leaving the title, but it's not by my choice. I didn't mislead you. I did
She didn't know.
yeah.
Well, she has some serious branding for herself to deal with because she has such a huge core of readers and followers. So
Yeah, I think it's like I said, it's always tough to lose your job, but when it becomes such a public mess, and winning. And when it's specifically in the middle of this war on women in comics and the highest profile female creator on the arguably highest or second highest comic character of all time. It's
If a lot of you don't know, Ryan loves it when the female bloggers start talking and jumping on bandwagons, and it's hilarious to watch him just read all the stuff that's going on.
No. Here's a perfect example. When it's something like, Starfire's not wearing much clothes, and she hasn't worn much clothes since her very first appearance, but we're going to complain about that in 2012. To me, I just roll my eyes at that. Gail Simone being fired off Batgirl. That's something worth talking about. That is, I believe, to be a real problem that she was. And I don't want to say, token female on token female character. Not that she necessarily needs to, but that book stood as sort of this great point for comics where we can, hey, we need more of this, and I think it's absolutely true. So this is something that is absolutely worth the discussion, not the petty, darn.
Do we know that she wasn't put on something else, that she was just axed? You make it sound like this is like an attack on her. She was fired. She was fired off the book. Right. She was fired off Batgirl, but
another project currently,
right?
Like, she's exploring other projects now.
So
it's not like we're taking you off Batgirl and putting you on this. It's more like we're taking you off Batgirl. Feel free to pitch other stuff.
Yeah, she basically she said every single comic company and a whole bunch of gaming companies contacted her already to do stuff. But then she said DC's heads have also contacted her about doing other work. So
So for you 6 women that are listening to our podcast right now and tired of listening to us talk and you want to hear a woman talk,
2 of them
go to Sarah Lima. She's fucking awesome. Actually, her handle on Twitter is Babs. She is a reporter. Actually, she's like an associate editor, I think, for what's the name of that place? Comic.
Is that the Nerdy Bird lady?
No, she's not Nerdy Bird.
Oh.
No, she's not Nerdy Bird. It'll come back. It'll come to me in a little bit. Okay. But yeah, Sarah Lima, look her shit up, and she has a really good angle on it.
Also,
and she doesn't just read off a transcriber or transcript. So.
Also, comics. Also, creators leaving comics. Scott Snyder's off Swamp Thing of his own accord. He's leaving because he's taking on too much work, so he's leaving Swamp Thing and going to give him to someone else. So.
We talked about that. Writers on too many books.
How did we not talk about this?
No. Before we switch subject, I know what Gail should do, and I hope she does.
What's that?
Should do Runaways at Marvel. Come on! That'd be fucking awesome. I'd be jumping up and down if that happened. Gail Simone on Runaways? Holy shit!
It's not high profile enough.
It's not high profile enough.
Fuck you.
He needs to just be given the whole X-Men brand, take it from Bendis.
Whoa.
Right.
No. Hey, don't give him sympathy high fives.
Dude, if Joss Whedon...
I'm giving you a high five for your
Actually, settle down.
I'd like to see her taking Bendis away.
Settle down. Turning down the mic.
X-Men book, as far as I understand, but
we'll take him off that one.
A dozen X-Men books.
Take him
off the one on all of them.
He's doing more than one X-Men book.
Take him off all of those.
He was
Guardians of the Galaxy is not an X-Men book.
No, he's doing.
Neither is Scarlet.
No, he's doing Uncanny or whatever. Like they announced a second X title by him.
Okay, if Joss Whedon can't sell 25,000 copies of Runaways, Gail Simone will never sell. I mean, they'll never publish another Runaways book unless Brian K. Vaughan does it, and even then they probably won't because it doesn't sell. So, end of story.
You suck, Ryan.
Sorry.
What other title? Bendis has at least 2 X-Men titles. It's all new, and then like what's the other one?
Uncanny?
Uncanny.
He's doing the new Uncanny with Chris Picciolo.
Yeah.
The Cyclops team.
Yeah.
Awesome, really?
Yeah, they're going to have their own book. So Cyclops and Magneto.
When is that
Brotherhood
book?
book?
In fucking April or
a couple
June
months.
Or July?
Yeah, a couple months.
Boo.
Yeah.
Can't have it fast enough.
I remembered, Sarah, I think your site is Comic Vine, and you guys are still cool even though you guys were bought out by like ABC or something. Anyways.
Yeah, Gail Simone sucks that she's leaving. Scott Snyder sucks that he's leaving. Hopefully, I wonder if they'll just give it to Jeff Lemire. And he can write Animal Man, Swamp Thing, and Justice League Dark, and just be like, done.
Arrow?
Oh, Angry Arrow.
Then he'll be off.
Did you see the cover though? Did you see the cover that he's starting on? The cover looks badass.
Yeah, cover's amazing. Yeah, cover's really good.
I'm actually kind of excited.
I am returning all my other Green Arrow issues, and that will be issue number 1.
Yeah, they should rename it. Should renumber it. They should just pretend it never happened.
Yeah,
it came before.
All right, let's drop the DC talk here because we got some people that want to talk some Marvel here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, don't get excited. You guys have already blown up the microphones once. No over talking. Just talk normally.
What do you mean don't get excited? I've been excited.
You guys are going to start screaming at each other here in just a second. Okay.
Why not?
So this past week, Avengers #1 came out by Jonathan Hickman, who we've talked about it before, and Jerome Pena, who's the artist of some talent.
Best in the biz.
Some talent.
Best in the biz.
Amazing.
Some talent. This was Marvel's probably next Uncanny Avengers and all new X-Men. This is probably like their number 2 book, right? Number 2, number 3 book. Avengers #1 is clearly a book that they're putting a lot on after the success of the movie. Jonathan Hickman coming over on Avengers from leaving FF and taking over all the Avengers books. This book was given 10 out of 10 by Newsarama. People were saying this book is life-changing, that it is the best superhero comic ever published. It changes how all origin stories of teams need to happen. That this is the defining superhero book of our generation, and everything should be, this is the type of reviews this book was getting.
Because that's what sells on the fucking newswire. You gotta throw out all those quick things. And fine, let them say that.
You gotta love fucking nerd reviews, man. It's like, what the fuck, man?
What book were they reading?
All I'm saying...
Of course, bro.
Hold on.
Of course. Already starts.
Hold on. So, I love Avengers. So let me get to this... And we'll do this. Hold on. What? We'll go round the table so we can each have our things so no one's screaming at each other because this episode's going to sound horrible if everyone's yelling on top of each other. Okay, so hold on. So Avengers came out. I'm a big Avengers fan. I love Jonathan Hickman. His FF stuff was fantastic. During my opinion, hit or miss. Sometimes he's great. Sometimes he's not so great. For the most part, I'm a big fan now. I had a lot of high hopes for this. Bryce, your hand? Yes?
When in the past Bendis decade have you liked Avengers?
I haven't hated Bendis' Avengers.
You got him to duh. You got him to duh.
It's just not...
You haven't liked Avengers.
Bullshit.
It's just not the Avengers to me. But I have Avengers going back.
But this is.
I have Avengers number 4. I'm building a whole collection. I have loved the Avengers. The movie was fantastic. I've loved the Avengers as long as I've been reading comics. Omar?
I'm raising my hand, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. What other DC books out there have you just made your snap decision on number 1?
Yeah. Great question.
Hawk and Dove, Green Arrow,
good answer.
Superman.
Good answer.
Some of them I still bought, but what can you do? So, this book is perfectly serviceable. It is a decent superhero comic book. It features generic superhero plot origin number 2. It is a book I will continue to read. It is a book I'm looking forward to. The art is wildly inconsistent. It is a B- on superhero comic book reading scale of all time. It is worse than probably every issue that Jonathan Hickman did on Fantastic Four, because that book was pretty mind-blowing from start to finish. Including, if you compare this to the first issue of FF, it's nowhere near as good. Omar?
I'm raising my hand because the only reason you think Hickman shit was so incredible is because before Hickman, who was writing it?
FF?
Yes.
Who cares? No one.
Exactly.
It was terrible.
Miller.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I didn't read it for a year. Avengers number 1 was good. It was a good book. It was a perfectly normal, typical superhero book.
Oh, I'm raising.
Okay, you're all going to get your own chances. Hold on, let me finish. Is this 10 out of 10? Is this the best superhero book that's ever been written? Is this groundbreaking? No. 100 other books have done the exact same story.
I want to raise my hand so bad.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's get the hating out of the way, and then we can get to all of us.
No, it's not the hating.
There's no hating except for you and Brock.
I know. That's why I said we'll get the hating out of the way. Brock, you go next.
That makes sense.
And then I'm
going to lose my train of thought.
Once we all get our turn...
By the time it's my turn, I'll forget what I was trying to say.
We'll go around. We'll all get our turn. Brock?
Yeah, I didn't like it. It was completely... It to me, it didn't really give you anything. I mean, it had... Like you said, the art was at times, but it wasn't bad at times. But, I mean, you have this villain who's not a villain who can create stuff, but it looks like they just took Tim Curry's devil character from Legend and threw yellow paint on him. And then at the end, it's like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm in the Ultimate Universe or if I'm in the regular Marvel Universe with the outfit Captain's wearing. Because I don't think they can actually pick an outfit for Captain. He's wearing a different one in Uncanny Avengers.
He's a soldier.
He's a soldier. They have one uniform unless they're in a different terrain.
He's
then it
a superhero
color.
soldier.
Okay. Omar.
The makeup of a good book to me is when you can read it. I mean, I'm American.
I'd be fucking excited.
Opening the book and then reading it, like just flipping through pages and just looking at the imagery, and just seeing how connected the cinematography is to the script.
Oh, yeah.
And then, after a few pages, turning it around and then flipping it backwards. That's how I'm used to reading books. Woo! You know, I am a quarter Japanese. And this shit is fucking sugoku saiko. It's fucking incredible. This book is actually a book that makes me happy that DC is a little lackluster right now. It's a book that makes me look through this book and like say, "Damn, Green Lantern sucks," but I have Jonathan Hickman to look forward to. They have a fucking
this podcast turned a 180,
dude. They have
all the Marvel haters. Oh yeah, no, that's like the DC.
Jonathan Hickman's my
man.
homie too. Like Jeff Johns
Marvel
is like
love now.
Jeff Johns, Jonathan Hickman. I'm sorry, Jonathan Hickman just took the stage. He took the stage, Jonathan Hickman. Why? Because we're going to have an Illuminati book that's going to be called New Avengers in January.
No, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
It's over.
It's going to be amazing.
Okay, dude. Bryce.
All right, so I am 0% Japanese and 0% Chinese, but I would say this book is motherfucking hen fucking how.
Bryce.
Anyway, I thought that this book was fucking great. I agreed that the, as Omar calls it, cinematography was amazing. Starting off with that awesome graph. I don't know if this is a Hickman standard.
Glyph.
Sorry, fucking
and
glyph.
Yes, it is.
I fucking love it. How clever is that? I love it. I love it how they start with all the things that happened in the past. Great way to start out at number 1. I love how instead of breaking the team down like we did a decade ago to build them back up, he does it differently. He does it without killing anybody, and he does it with the core team from the fucking blockbuster so that anybody coming onto the book can step into the arena and know who the 6 are that are going on this spaceship to Mars. The reason I would not give it 10 out of 10 is because it's like, okay, so they're going to fucking Mars without knowing who their enemy is. That seems un-Avengers-like. But that's really my only problem. Like I was telling the guys earlier, I wouldn't give it an A like a lot of people did, but I would give it an A- or a B+. I think that it was fucking really good, and I don't know...
And I give it like a BB-.
Hey, did you raise your hand?
No, that's okay. I'm the teacher.
Raise your hand,
I'm the teacher. So it's okay.
We're all doomed as to whether or not I ever listen to my teacher or not.
We're not cutting school right now.
We're not too far off. Toby.
I'm with Bryce and Ryan here, actually. Yeah, we'll talk more. Okay. It's pretty darn good, and the reason why I think it's so darn good and why I'm so excited about it, because everything Avengers till now wasn't Avengers to me. This reads like an Avengers book from beginning to the end. It's an Avengers book.
I got a comment about that, but I'll wait.
All right.
Thanks, teacher.
He's like detention for you. No, I'm very happy. I do, it's probably not as good as everybody says it is. I mean, it is just a beginning book, so I'm really excited to see where it goes. So, yeah.
I actually have no idea what you think, Charlie.
And I like all the sleeper agents that Iron Man freaking put around the world. That's fucking dope.
That's crazy, right?
Sleeper agents.
So for me, I kind of straddle the line between the two sides here, amusingly enough. This, for me, was a solid B book. It didn't blow me away. There's certain things I liked about it more than others. I agree with Ryan. Some of the art in it was inconsistent, especially there were a couple of panels, specifically stuff that drive me nuts. Yes, that was a good page, but here, give it.
Okay, the page Omar is holding up right now is the page of the second to worst drawing of the Hulk that's ever existed.
That's a Kirby throwback Hulk.
Second worst, only
shame on you.
Only
shame on you.
The only worst drawing of the Hulk in the history of the world is the drawing of the Marvel's 1985 miniseries by Mark Miller, back when it was originally done as a Fumetti photo comic, and there was a picture of the Hulk in there that was the worst drawing of Hulk that's ever existed. This is the second worst drawing of the Hulk that's ever been printed.
It's iconic throwback. It was done.
Throwback. Perfect word for it.
That's exactly
he
what
looks
it was.
like a mongoloid.
He didn't look that way throughout the whole book, but they did it in that image, and it makes an impression. Right?
It was for the exact reason that they want you to remember the first Avengers.
To remember a skinny
Avengers number 1, bro.
He never looked like that. He's a skinny mongoloid.
He gets angry. When he gets angry, he gets bigger.
So he's not very angry. He looks like he's like 80 pounds in that shot. It's a terrible picture.
Dude, he's just like a cock on Viagra.
Okay, so I'm going to finish my...
Ryan, I actually agree with you. I have to say I actually agree with you. As an art guy, I have to agree.
Okay, continue. Okay. Sorry, Charlie.
So I need to finish my thought here now that we got arguing about that part of it.
This is what you do, Charlie. You make us argue.
Yes, I'm good at that. But there's two things about this book that it's open to interpretation a little bit, because it seems that Omar had the initial impression I had of it, but it changes a little bit. Because the impression I got when basically the guy who's all about evolving, who tried to evolve Tony and then got interrupted by Cap, is the impression I got is he was going to evolve Cap and send him back at first. But then when they sort of show Cap, it seemed like all he did was send him back as a, look, your best couldn't stop me, so don't even bother. If he actually evolved Cap, I'm very fascinated. If he just sent Cap back, then I kind of feel like they missed the.
But don't you think that
arc there?
That's pretty incredible. Like Captain America, he's pretty unchanged for like how many years because he's just that fucking.
If he was evolved, I'm all for looking at that, but it depends. Was it the point? There was I'm sending him back to send a message that this was the best you could do, and it wasn't good enough, or did he send him back going, I'm going to evolve him and show you what I'm trying to like? The way it reads,
No. I see what you're saying. In my opinion, I think that they can do that. They can evolve Iron Man. If you're going to rally in the last page of Avengers #1, you've got to send Cap back. Because they have the army of, as Ryan calls them, nobodies.
Oh.
I actually know who most of them are. A couple of them I actually did not know. But
when you were done.
So, if anybody's going to lead this new team to go rescue them, it's got to be Cap. Iron Man can't rally those guys.
But my point is if you send back a evolved Cap in some way, you can still play out. And it may just be that the evolution hasn't shown yet, or it may be that he didn't. Like, that's the thing. Right now, I'm curious to see what direction they go with it.
Me too.
Is that Marvel Boy?
No.
With boobs?
All right, hold on. Okay, I'm going to read the last 2 pages here. I'm going to read this to you, okay?
From Franklin Richards?
No. This is from.
Yes, that's who it is.
Who's talking? Franklin Richards?
Hey,
dude,
what?
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
So someone's doing this narration over Cap coming to reform the Avengers. Okay, so let me set this up here. It was a summoning. He was the first, our very best. So when he called, what hero would not answer? It started with an idea. The spark that started the fire was expansion. Our captain spoke and gave the idea form. He said the words and made it real. He said, "Assemble at dawn." And how could we not? We are Avengers. And it cuts to a splash page of Captain America, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Miss Marvel, Wolverine,
Cannonball.
Well, hold on. Wolverine, Falcon, and like 9 characters who I'm like, who the fuck are any of these people?
Sleeper Agent.
Captain Universe.
This is what we're talking about, Sleeper Agents.
So, hold on. We have Cannonball, okay, which took me a minute, but I'm like, I thought that was Zorn, because his head looks like Zorn, but I guess that's Cannonball.
About him?
Zorn?
Okay, I see a female Captain Universe. Okay, sure. I think that's Hyperion from Squadron Supreme.
You should know this, though. Captain Universe only comes when a major thing, just like a Watcher, when a Watcher shows up in the background. Some major shit's happening.
Captain Universe is stupid. Okay, I think that's Hyperion, but as far as I knew, all that Squadron Supreme power crap's gone. So I have no idea who this girl on the left is. I have no idea who this guy with the dreads are. I have no idea who this guy with the nappy hair on the right and the Asian-looking guy next to him is in the red. I have no idea who any of those characters are.
Unbelievable.
Who are any of these people?
But this is the whole point, though.
First of all, they should have Hyperion on page 1.
This page should be Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, motherfucking Vision.
I think this is the whole point of the book, that it's not them.
Exactly, Toby.
It's a bunch of fucking scrubs. Where's D-Man? Where's D-Man?
Dude,
he's not fucking Marvel, idiot.
D-Man is? Yeah, he is.
For Ryan. Dude, okay.
Oh my God, it's Sunspot.
What?
Yeah,
you guys talking about?
Sunspot. Are you kidding? Of course it's Sunspot.
Yeah.
All right, so Dreads Boy is... All right, so look. He put a bunch of randos in there that he's going to use to build the fucking story, okay?
I have a question.
Dreads Boy is Gateway's son. Okay, so who the fuck is he? It doesn't matter.
Horrible.
He's going to play a part in the story.
I have a question.
Hickman's going to make him amazing, bro.
I have a question.
That's what he did with Secret Warriors. This is like Secret Warriors.
Exactly like fucking Secret Warriors.
Holy shit. All the kids of all the fucking villains.
Yeah, who saw that
fucking
coming?
Nick Fury.
It turned out to be amazing.
That Nick Fury trick. Did you read Secret Warriors?
Secret Warriors is really bad.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, credibility fail.
Fail.
I'm not even done. There's like Shang-Chi. How do you not know Shang-Chi, by the way?
Shang-Chi is not on this page.
Yes,
Shang-Chi is the fucking Asian guy.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm
sorry, he has a different costume.
That's
sorry.
Shang-Chi?
Yes, he is.
Shang-Chi, bro.
Shang-Chi always has black and red in his costume. You don't know that?
There's no way that's Shang-Chi.
Sunspot? Who else is that but Sunspot?
Who?
Dude, you
Robert
have to...
Aguirre.
The guy on the right?
Costa.
On the other
Costa.
page, there's
On the
a bunch
right-hand
of
side.
symbols. You have to match up the symbols with what they could be.
terrible.
That's what makes the glyph so fucking awesome. Dude, the glyph is fucking amazing.
The glyph is for fucking oblivious idiots like you.
Dude, and also on page 1, just like Hyperion, on page 1, they talk about the fucking what was that Shi'ar War thing that if I wasn't so excited right now I would know.
Okay.
The second panel down where they talk about the Shi'ar Kree War.
Who can forget
fucking Basher, that chick?
Who can forget
Annihilation? That's is her name Basher? Is it Basher?
Basher. That's Basher.
Who can forget such classic symbols as 4 dots or 4 bricks or 2 circles with a line between them,
Ryan, you're hipster,
or a downward triangle. Like what? How am I supposed to? These are nobodies.
What do you want to just say their fucking name? It's a symbol representing who the fuck they are. What do you want me to do? Explain?
Do I have to really raise my fucking
Brock
hand?
has his hand up.
We're all raising our hands.
Why does Wolverine look like he's a figurine from Indian in the Cupboard?
What?
Like he doesn't fit in this picture.
They threw him in last
minute.
minute.
An Indian in the cupboard.
So Avengers is going to be fine. I like Hickman. The team, whatever. All these scrubs are going to be gone by issue 7 anyway, so they're just going to force the movie team, and it doesn't matter. Charlie?
The only problem I have with the scrubs being introduced the way they are, and I'm just going to say the scrubs being introduced the way they are here because I can.
Can I just interject? Dude, Avengers Scrubs would be a fucking cool-ass title of a fucking
Avengers
Better than Avengers Academy.
Avengers Scrubs.
Or Avengers Arena.
Avengers Scrubs versus the Legion substitutes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But, like, to me, the way they introduced this idea, like it's some new idea.
Yeah, it's happened.
Irked me quite a bit because it's...
Every time.
Every time, including the previous run with the whole initiative and expanding the rosters, and you have the new Avengers team, you have the Avengers team.
Who is writing Avengers Initiative, though?
Yeah, they had a bunch of scrubs on the previous teams. Like, they had freaking the new Triathlon, they had Starfire, they had
but they weren't, like,
Justice.
But they weren't sleeper agents,
they had scrubs like Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch joined the team back in the 60s. They had scrubs like freaking...
what did you love about Grant Morrison's Tokyo team? The new team. What did you love about them?
Which ones?
Final Crisis.
The Final Crisis ones?
What's the group called again?
The Super Young Team?
Yeah, Super Young Team.
By Grant Morrison and super random. All new characters.
All new characters that were kind of like...
But they're not joining the Justice League.
Didn't know what they're getting into.
But they're not in the Justice League. And Morrison's Justice League, when he brought in the scrubs, they were 1-for-1 counterparts to the main 7.
But Avengers, what I think you're missing is Hickman saying Avengers is an idea. It's not about calling you when you're in Avengers. It's not about having a card. Okay, if you were going to say before, you said, oh, this has all been done, everyone be giving out cards, just like they did for fucking JSA and JLA.
Hey, it's not about having a card. It's not about having a card. It's about having a goddamn pager, and when that thing goes off, you assemble.
Pagers do work, bro.
I know they do.
143.
Doctors use them all the time.
Like, I understand what you're saying there, but they've already kind of made it clear that they've opened up the Avengers roster to the fact where you have people to call when this stuff goes down.
Yeah.
So it seemed weird that Tony kind of brought it up as we need to go recruiting, even though we just finished.
Everyone is an Avenger, just like Justice League Unlimited.
Can I just say?
We've been here 1,000 times.
Can I make my guess who Jessica Drew? I mean, Cosmic Spider-Man is.
We know
Cosmic.
who that is.
That's Jessica Drew.
No.
Who is it?
Wait, I'm sorry. Who did you point to?
That's Jessica Drew.
No, dude. There was one black girl in the window with her back towards us, and she is nowhere else on that panel unless she's in that costume.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn, you picked that.
So Monica is it? Well, then that's
the Heroes for Hire chick.
That's Monica Rambeau. Then
thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
All right. So can I just say very quickly? It seems like Ryan's complaints, mainly for the book, are basically twofold.
Well,
the art, which other than the iconic Hulk,
the villains
he missed
nothing.
somehow, and he somehow also doesn't like Peña's art.
The plot and the plot and the villain are nothing. Hey, the plot and the villain are throwaway, generic.
Talk over me more.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the second part that you don't like is that this is plot, and I'm using quotations for all of those on the podcast. This plot has been done so many times before. Team Origin number 2 or B you call it, I forget. But it's like, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? If this team that they're like getting is off the book in fucking issue 2, it doesn't matter if this issue is fucking great. Okay, it was not perfect, but if it was a fucking great issue because of the layers within layers,
the villain's
the way
super.
That they introduced the new team, whether or not it stays, the art that was cinematic and it caught your eye on every panel.
The villain's super generic, and a throwaway villain we'll never see again. And the art's fine, and the characters are mostly throwaway.
Ex Nihilo, like what other character has the ability? He's like Thanos level. He's a god.
Fucking Thanos level.
He's Thanos level, dude. Like straight up, like he has the ability to evolve other things and people around him.
Let's put it on the fucking record that Ryan called him a throwaway villain. I would love to be wrong in the year or two from now.
Isn't he just like the high evolutionary, or isn't he just like any? He's just a random
low evolutionary.
He's a random schmo that's like, I got some random powers, and I take out the JLA for no reason.
Don't fucking talk shit
he's
about this guy.
He's ambitious.
The Avengers for no reason.
Did you read Squadron Supreme when Kurt Busiek used to write for him?
Oh, good question.
Squadron Supreme?
Hey, this guy has an eye in the middle of his head.
Thunderbolts?
And an Omega symbol on him.
Ooh.
He's definitely
That was back in the 80s.
Like the original miniseries? That was Mark Grunwald?
Oh, was it Mark Grunwald?
Yeah.
Look, if he goes away, fine. Is he a great antagonist right now for this issue? Yes.
It was fine.
Arc? Yes.
Sure, it was fine.
Did he do a good job capturing the original in a at least, I think, very nicely realistic way?
I don't even know. I don't even remember how he did it.
Movie Avengers, fucking $1 billion franchise, and gets them to recruit more.
Yeah, doesn't he just
solidifies the idea that the Avengers is an idea? Yeah, just like he said. And by the way, I'm never gonna buy a book on tape that you read. Because that was like the most anticlimactic.
No, he just pulls out some. All he does is he pulls out some freaking poison ivy powers here and captures them all with weeds, and then he's like, "Oh, Captain America, I'm gonna punch you in the face," and then he.
No. He's got the fucking robot and he's got Abyss.
And then he magically transports Captain America onto a ship and sends him back to Earth for some reason. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, this isn't a Lucky Charms fucking cereal commercial, bro.
Did you read this comic?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Wait. How much is DC paying you to fucking say all this shit about their fucking incredible book?
They're standing outside of his spaceship, and then they put him on the spaceship, and then they're standing outside of the spaceship. What is fucking lost?
Yeah, like, why would they do? Like, why don't they just kill him? Like, okay, he goes to get more Avengers.
They explain why they don't kill him.
Okay, congratulations.
He says he's above killing him. What's your next question?
I have none. It's
no,
dumb.
He's not above killing. He doesn't want to soil Eden with a waste of life.
Yeah.
And yes, I did quote it. Jeez. No, this is not an Avengers book. There's only one fucking Avenger on it. It's Captain America. That's it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude,
I disagree with that statement.
The entire book is Avengers except for the last page.
Well, yeah, but this is what we're going on. This is the rest of the Avengers book. It's this is
awesome.
If you're looking at the last page, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Spider-Woman, you don't think that they're Avengers, even though they have been, by the way, for the past decade.
The only original
Falcon,
Avenger on here is Cap. That's the only original Avenger. Everyone in the Marvel universe is an Avenger.
I think that fucking
hold on. Okay.
I think Charlie needs to drink because I think his wife is expecting a drunk Charlie home tonight. So, Charlie, you have to drink. She's been Facebooking me. You have to take a couple of hits.
Charlie,
here.
please don't explode in front of me.
Please.
He's about to explode.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Flat out,
I could feel the earth.
Let's not discuss whether or not the rest of the Avengers are going to be in issue 2 before issue 2 comes out.
Well, according to the splash page,
we're setting up for where we're going.
Spoiler page. It's the splash page at the end of it.
Time out.
I have a question. In all new X-Men, are we going to have a fight between the old X-Men and Cyclops and the new X-Men? Oh, yes, we are, because of the splash page.
Yeah, it'll come out in issue 6, which will be coming out next week.
Yeah.
Isn't a splash... Can I just... I'm sorry to interrupt, Charlie, because we all like to interrupt when you're talking because you just spur these ideas and these fucking creative insights.
He's so attractive and intelligent.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's no. Let's just be real. He's really big. Okay, it's all about the girth. A splash page. I'm pretty sure a splash page is 2 pages. Go ahead and Wikipedia that.
Okay,
splash page is 2 pages.
I'm sorry. It's
because it splashes all over the place.
It's a 1-page splash page.
I know about that.
I'll make sure to clarify that. It's a 1-page splash page.
A half splash.
But at Marvel, I believe they're called just throwaway pages. So
okay. Well,
fucking touche.
We've always had a very good discussion about Avengers here, and when the book continues on,
it was a horrible discussion. We all sucked.
If anyone can even understand what anyone was saying at any point during that, we'll be back in a few weeks when number 2, or in a week when 9 ships, because Marvel ships 14 books a month. So,
only Ben
yeah, we are going to wrap this up. because this is the end of the episode.
Is it really
over?
It
is.
Done?
It is.
Holy fuck, that's incredible. It's already 8:30?
It is.
Holy shit.
Yep. We're going fast here. So, if you like this episode and you want to hear more episodes, hopefully not quite like this one, you can go to www.geekbox.net. You can also go to comicsconspiracy.biz and go download all the episodes on there as well. And on iTunes, go join us up on iTunes. Join us up? I don't know. Follow us up on iTunes. Follow us up on iTunes. Subscribe on iTunes.
Stalk us.
Go stalk us. Go leave us some 5-star reviews. Probably not for this episode. You can go to forums@geekbox.net. Talk to other people that don't listen to this podcast. You can go to Twitter. Follow us all on Twitter. We're all on there. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, Brock Sager, Comics and Decline. I apparently mangled Bryce's last week.
Bryce, not Omar.
Yeah, well, yeah. What's your Twitter?
It's Larsen Bryce, not Bryce Larsen.
Okay,
Larsen with an EN.
Larsen
Bryce with a Y.
Bryce. Okay,
we're both handsome and we play HeroClix.
There you
That's true.
You're handsome and intelligent too, right?
We're both hung like horses.
You just know that playing HeroClix just killed it.
You can't follow Hung Like Horses. That
Toby's,
you won't find us, but
Toby's Toby XI and Charlie is Insanity and Chaos, and we all have other random things we do. We get the Geek Box and the Comedy Button. Good Job Brain on the Geek Box feed. We have Brock's blog, conspiratobrock.com. We have comicsanddekind.com, which is Omar's website. We have the Infinite Long Box with the Charlie's other podcast, where 7 people don't scream over each other for an hour.
You're so professional.
It's just 4 people screaming over each other for an hour.
I'm just too busy going, where did he learn math? There's not 7.
There's 7? Well.
There's only 4 of you.
This week, quickly come and buy some comic books at Ryan's shop.
I've listened to at least 6 episodes.
He can't add comic books again.
Beer. Is Ryan also drinking?
I've had a really bad case of vertigo last week. I'm seeing doubles of everyone, so there's like 12 of us here or something.
He's like, Karen Berger. Oh.
So,
some of our ego maybe have split into 2.
Yeah. You can go on our digital website, digital.comicsconspiracy.biz, buy some comics on there. Avengers #1 for sale. You can go read it yourself. See if you like it. See the second worst picture of the Hulk ever drawn.
No.
And I think that's probably it.
I'm going to go piss real quick.
Have fun with that. We will catch everyone next week.